skipping the family vacation because my sister thinks I'm her free babysitter. So, here's the deal, by 23, I kept getting stuck as the family helper and babysitter on our trips. Living at home meant I was constantly roped into watching my 3 nephews. Last summer, we all went on a family vacation to the coast. My folks covered my hotel room, but the catch was I had to share it with the 3 little whirlwinds. My sister and her husband got their own space. I was promised some downtime, but instead, I ended up babysitting. I vented to everyone, but they just reminded me the trip was free for me. We only did one thing I wanted, visiting an art gallery, which the kids found boring. This year, my parents planned another beach trip in June, assuming we'd do it the same way. But I put my foot down and told them I'd drive myself and book my own room this time. They were shocked and worried about the cost, but I reassured them I could afford it with my good job and reliable car. Then, things got tense. When my sister called, she was furious, saying I'd ruin the vacation by not helping with her kids. I told her that last year was a drag because I ended up taking care of her mess, and all I wanted was to visit an art gallery. Now, she's giving me the silent treatment, and my parents are still trying to get me to keep the peace, but I'm standing my ground. I'm asking myself if I'm the bad guy here, knowing they'll struggle without an extra set of hands. Update: my sister, who often scrolls through Reddit in the mornings, found my post and is livid, especially since no one is siding with her. She ranted about how tough it is raising triplets and how I should help because I'm young and single. I stood firm, and now she's got our parents involved. Expecting a call from them soon. Later update: after work, I found out my sister got our parents to read the post, and they were upset about the comments siding with me. They were mad I even posted, but I told them that if they had listened to me, none of this would have happened. I'm tired of this keep the peace deal that always ends with me sacrificing for my sister. It all blew up, and now the vacation is off. My nephews are upset, my sister blames me, and even called me during lunch to say I have no life, which I recorded and shared with our parents. Anyway, they're now furious with her too. Another update: I wasn't going to update again, but my parents promised they won't push babysitting duties on me anymore and admitted last year wasn't fair to me. They're mad at my sister for saying I should help because she thinks I have no life. She's playing the victim, and my brother-in-law is just avoiding it all by working a lot. Thanks to everyone who commented, you made my day. Final update: my parents apologized, my sister didn't, at least not right away. Turns out, posting on Reddit shook things up. My family had gotten way too comfortable with me always being the default helper. So, here's the deal. I stuck around at home until I was 22, mainly because I was trying to save some cash while juggling college. Luckily, I had a scholarship that covered a lot, and living with my folks kept me from drowning in debt since I was only working part-time. I'm really grateful for that setup. But here's where things got sticky. After college, everyone seemed to think I had all the free time in the world. They talked me into this family vacation, which turned out to be more of a babysitting gig for my 3 6-year-old triplet nephews. I ended up sharing a hotel room with them, and those kids did not listen to a word I said until I had to call their mom, twice. Somehow, I got labeled as the bad guy for wanting to do something fun on the trip. Anything I wanted to do that wasn't a family activity got shot down, which was super hypocritical because, hey, I'm family too, right? I vented to my parents later, and they actually admitted they messed up. After that nightmare vacation, I decided it was time to get my own space, so I moved out before the summer was over. This caught everyone off guard since I didn't give any notice. I landed a sweet job right after college thanks to an internship, and moving closer cut my commute from 45 minutes to just 15. My sister was not thrilled because it meant she lost her free weekend babysitter. She still tried to rope me into it, but I'd only agree when bribed with pizza, and this became our new routine. Then, last month, my parents announced another family vacation to the same beach place, and I saw right through it. I knew they wanted a repeat of last year, so I casually mentioned I'd drive myself and cover my own costs. That's when things blew up. My parents realized they couldn't trap me like before and started begging me to tag along. My sister used every trick in the book, including some serious gaslighting, but I didn't give in. After getting harassed for days, I posted on an Am I the Jerk? forum to see if others thought I was in the wrong. Amazingly, my sister found the post within an hour. First, everyone ganged up on me, but I asked my parents to point out anything in my post that wasn't true. They dodged the question, calling it an exaggeration, but I stood my ground. I even told them to check the comments, which were pouring in fast and totally on my side. My parents freaked out seeing how many people had opinions on their behavior. Eventually, they had to rethink things, and my sister called me during lunch, freaking out because our parents had turned against her. The whole family vacation got cancelled. My parents admitted they were embarrassed by the whole thing and apologized for treating me like a free babysitter when I wasn't even living at home anymore. They tried to justify their actions by saying they didn't charge me rent in college, but I reminded them that's just what families do, it's not a bargaining chip. I pointed out how my dad got the same deal from his parents. When my sister got hold of me during my lunch break, I laid out the facts, and she showed her true colors, implying that I've got no life. But honestly, with everything that's happened, I'm just glad I stuck to my guns. Wow, so here's the deal. On weekends, I think it's kind of unfair that my free time is supposed to be dedicated to helping out my sister. She's a stay-at-home mom and can't even leave the house without taking her kids unless someone's watching them. Her husband earns a decent amount, and they live in a nice house they own. Frankly, my nephews aren't really my responsibility, but it's like they were just dumped on me, and my sister expected it to continue that way. When I pushed back, she hung up on me angrily. Luckily, I recorded our call and showed it to my parents, who were furious. They basically went to battle with my sister, but she just doubled down on the idea that my life should revolve around hers. I told her that was super entitled and narcissistic. After a few days, her husband finally stepped in and got her to apologize, which was pretty surprising. Turns out, one reason I was their go-to babysitter was that my sister didn't trust strangers, so it was never really about saving money. Funny thing, her husband thought she was actually paying me for babysitting, but the cash she gave me was barely enough for pizza. When this was revealed as she half-heartedly apologized, he was pissed and made her pay me back from her savings, which she wasn't happy about. He also apologized to me for not stepping up sooner and promised that they'd hire a proper babysitter in the future. Although they'll spend a bit more, my sister can enjoy date nights again. Recently, we had a big family meeting at my parents' place where everything was laid out, and everyone apologized. My parents even reinstated the family vacation. I plan to handle my own travel and hotel. If my sister tries to rope me back into babysitting duty, I've made it clear I'll stay elsewhere. She's promised it won't happen, and if you don't hear from me after the vacation, you'll know all's good. In the latest twist, my sister demanded I take down my Reddit post that blew up the whole situation. She's super upset about the backlash, but I was upfront with her. People are still commenting every day, and they aren't saying nice things about her. She broke down and insisted I delete the posts, but I told her no way. These posts are my insurance against her trying to walk all over me again. Honestly, she treated me like my life was meant to serve hers, didn't pay me fairly, and turned me into a full-time babysitter last vacation, which was zero fun for me. Is it any wonder folks aren't happy with her? I also mentioned that some people want to write articles about this and there are videos popping up, which made her freak out and hang up. Even my parents are pleading for me to take the posts down. I refused and pointed out that if they'd had my back sooner, this public mess wouldn't have happened. I'm not her bouncer, babysitter, or handyman, I'm her brother, a grown man with his own life. Wouldn't they be fed up if they were in my shoes? They kind of see my point but still want me to take everything down. I said no. I'll keep posting if they don't back me up more when she starts crying to them. It's time she deals with the fallout of her actions. I didn't sign up to be a dad, I have my own career to focus on and maybe a new relationship on the horizon. I'm moving forward, and they can either support that or keep enabling her behavior. So, I had a bit of a showdown with my family. My sister's been causing a lot of drama, and I told them all that putting up with her nonsense wouldn't end well for them. I posted about it on Reddit because why not vent my frustrations, right? I've kept it anonymous, but, man, it got to my parents. My mom started crying, my dad just went super quiet, and I was like, sorry, but tears aren't gonna change my mind. They know the drama stops when they quit enabling my sister. Next thing I know, my sister's on the phone yelling because our parents told her they're done dealing with her mess. They even told her to be nicer to me. I could just imagine her twitching in frustration, like, be nice to my brother? What's next? Google how to do that? I admit, I was pretty sarcastic, and yep, she ended up crying after we hung up. Then her husband, Bill, called to get my side of things. He wasn't thrilled I was still sharing updates online and that it made his wife cry, but I laid it all out for him, and he agreed to talk to her again. I'm hoping all this drama finally wraps up, but we've got a family vacation coming up in June. I've already booked my room and taken a day off work for it. My room isn't even near my parents, sister, Bill, and the kids, it's not even on the same floor. When we hit the coast, unless it's a family thing, I'm off doing my own thing. I'm going to hit up art galleries, indulge in local food, and just enjoy some stress-free time. Now, after the vacation update, it was a mixed bag, as expected. The good was my parents didn't try to pawn babysitting duties on me, although my sister did try. The bad? She tried to figure out my room number but got busted by her own husband. I had called the hotel ahead of time to tell them not to give out any of my info unless it was the police or something dire. They assured me nobody would get my details. I left for the vacation earlier than everyone else. I knew my family wouldn't get going before 10 a.m., so I was out the door by 9 a.m. Check-in wasn't until 1 p.m., but I wanted a head start. I sent a heads-up group text and hit the road for the 3-hour drive. My parents were bummed because they planned a family brunch, but I had no idea and told them so. Instead, they went with fast food, which was my plan anyway. Arriving at the hotel, I reminded the front desk about keeping my room info locked down. They said they don't usually share info, but I pressed just to be sure, like, what if my mom and sister showed up with crying kids to guilt them at the desk? Anyway, they promised not to budge, and I headed out for a bite to eat. When I got back, the parking lot was full with my parents' car and Bill's massive SUV. I discreetly checked in after ensuring the coast was clear, then asked the clerk if my family had been poking around. Yep, they tried, but the clerk held firm, and even Bill told my sister to back off. Later, we all met up to hang out, and my sister asked me to watch her kids for a second. Yeah, right, I knew she'd be gone an hour if I agreed. I called her out on it, and Bill backed me up, telling her to stop trying to get me to babysit. She pulled the "I need a break" card and started crying again, but Bill was like, "Hey, I'm tired too, but I'm not complaining." My mom shot me a dirty look, so I just went straight up to her and laid it all out. It was quite the family vacation, for sure. So, there I was on this family vacation, and things were getting a bit tense. My mom and sister seemed to think I was supposed to be on kid watching duty, which I was totally over. I told them straight up that if they even thought about making me the babysitter, I was out of there. Mom got all teary, doing her usual guilt trip thing, but I stood my ground and told her to drop it. After that, neither of them messed with me for the rest of the day. Later on, when we got to the hotel after dinner, everyone was squeezing into the elevator, but I decided to wait for the next one. My sister gave me this look because she knew exactly what I was doing, just giving myself some space. I hung out in the lobby, watching YouTube on my phone, then headed up to my room. I was on a different floor, and that night was great. The next morning, we all went out for breakfast, and I made sure to leave after everyone else. Breakfast was smooth, and I let them know I'd be doing my own thing for the day. Mom tried to make plans for the aquarium and stuff, so I agreed to meet them for that but kept the rest of the day to myself until family dinner. That evening, back at the hotel, my sister caught me leaving my room. I guess she was keeping tabs on me. I was just trying to chill before dinner, but there she was, trying to corner me and claim I was ruining her vacation by not helping with the kids. I called her bluff because our parents were already helping a lot. I told her I was over being the scapegoat and she should move on. I walked away with her yelling at me, but I didn't care. She followed me to the elevator, and we didn't speak. I filled my parents and brother-in-law in on her little stalker move, and she got it talking to like a kid. She played the victim, and I told her to cut it out. The days of her bossing me around were done. When we all met for dinner, I was the first one there. My sister looked down, but nothing was said about the drama before. That was just fine with me. She avoided eye contact, and I didn't mind riding the elevator with the group this time. I made it clear that unless it was an emergency, my room was off limits. Do not disturb, seriously. On the last day, everything was peaceful. Mom and my sister finally backed off. Sure, I played with my nephews a bit, I'm not a total jerk. I was the fun uncle, just not the babysitter uncle. The kids were cool with it, they just wanted to play. I even got them some cool crystals and stones as souvenirs. There was a little spat between my sister and her husband, but I didn't pay it much attention. Overall, the vacation was a win. My family finally got the message that I'm living my own life now. Oh, and update, my mom and sister saw my last post and freaked out. My sister was basically stalking my account, hoping I'd post something. She called me, crying about how I made her look like a bad mom. Well, seriously, what did she expect? So, get this, I had this whole Cinderella moment where the glass slipper fit perfectly. Meanwhile, my sister was just going off on me, but I asked her to point out anything in my post that was false. She tried a few times, but I called her out on each one because all my facts were spot on. What does she do next? Calls mom. So then, my mom shows up at my place, demanding I take down all my posts. I wasn't having it and said no, and now I've got ammo for one more post. Mom ended up leaving with tears in her eyes. Later, I had a straightforward chat with both my parents over the phone, telling them that their constant coddling of my sister created our messed up family dynamics. I made it clear that I'm not going back to those days, and if they're hoping for that, they're out of luck. They ended up telling my sister to stop blaming me and just leave me alone because they can't handle the stress from my responses anymore. My sister went into full nobody loves me mode, and my parents had to give her a reality check. My brother-in-law hasn't called, and I think he's just trying to stay neutral, but this whole mess can't be good for his marriage or our relationship. Out of respect for him, I'm sorry, dude, but your wife really pushed my buttons. Right now, my parents are pushing my sister to get counseling because juggling being a mom and her old lifestyle isn't working. She needs to step up. I'm hoping this is the last post I have to make. Hear that, sis? If you keep treating me like your personal servant and act like everyone's out to get you just because I don't bow to you, then we can't be in each other's lives. Maybe we can move past this nonsense if you're willing. Just don't give me a reason to post anything else online about you. I'll only talk about how people treat me from now on. Treat me decently, and this is done, okay? So, here's the update. My parents and I had a long chat, and they apologized. We've agreed to keep a bit of distance until Thanksgiving. I also had a sit down with my brother-in-law over some cold beers. He told my sister she needed counseling or he was out, and now they're on the hunt for a counselor. He also mentioned that my sister's pretty great at home as a wife but admitted she was a nightmare to me. Apparently, she enjoyed being an only child, and there's some resentment there because we're almost 10 years apart. She's down for getting counseling, and they've even lined up a babysitter for my nephews. My brother-in-law admitted he was mad at me too for not stepping in when I needed it, so we agreed the whole situation was just a hot mess and it's time to let it rest in peace. Oh, and here's a twist, these posts actually landed me a girlfriend. This girl I liked had a feeling it was me in the posts, and was waiting for me to make a move.